day, though. Wow. I like the shade idea.
Yeah.
It's actually worked out pretty quick.
Well, you know, I walk a lot, so the sun doesn't bother me.
No, yes, you do walk a lot.
Okay, I'm ready.
Alright, we're gonna start here live. We're already live here, so you guys ready? Alright, stand by. And take two, go ahead.
Well, welcome to the 42nd annual Dairy Fest, and thank you for joining us. I'm Tom Laux, the Director of Communications for the City of Marshfield and Marshfield Broadcasting, and we are on the Marshfield Now channel, so if you haven't tuned in or you're watching us later, 990 is the channel, and we have all the platforms available that you would want on Apple TV, Roku, and Amazon Fire, or go to our website at marshfieldbroadcasting.com. My sidekick, Tom Gerritsen. Thanks for coming.
Well, thank you for having me, Tom. What a beautiful day for this parade. About 80 degrees, 11 in the morning, hardly a cloud in the sky. And really, this is what Dairy Fest's parades have looked like over the years. I might have remembered just a couple out of 40-some that had rain during the parade. It may rain before the parade. It may rain right up to the point where it steps off. But during the parade itself, it hardly ever rains. This parade has been so blessed, so lucky, so fortunate to have this type of weather, especially in Wisconsin. Because you know what they say, if you don't like the weather, stick around because it'll change just like that.
Yeah, definitely, Tom. It is a beautiful day. Bright sunshine. We're under the shade here, though, so we're a little lucky. We got our water, and we have our crew ready to go. And I'll just give thanks to our crew right now here before we begin. Right now on cameras, we've got Dan Furch on a main camera. We got Mike Weigel on our other camera that's real close here. He's going to be doing as the parade floats go by. And we also have our station camera on you and I. And we have our sound and video producer, which is Kristen Cherney, and she's from Stevens Point. And we have our director, David Ballerstein, that is doing all this, as well as, again, Tom Gerritsen and myself, Tom Laux, that are going to be bringing this live to live, I call it, action. So hasn't started yet. We are starting to see some sirens and lights down there at the beginning, but hasn't gotten over here yet, and I think it'll be coming here soon. We have a lot of people on the signs.
Our vantage point is right on Central Avenue, right by the floats, at 6th Street. You may not be able to see it behind us, but we are at the old City Hall Plaza. And when I say old, I mean Figgy's Incorporated headquarters before that. That's what they were when I moved here in 1978. And then a few years later, the city moved down here so they could have plenty of room. They brought Wood County with them. And this building served for decades as a very, very good seat of local government. And I do remember the Marshfield Broadcasting doing their parade from this spot right here for a lot of years. So, very good place to be. And I've seen my share of parades on TV, and they're very photogenic, Tom. They look great.
Yeah, they're doing a wonderful job out here, and it's a fun time to be here.
Yeah.
This is my third parade. I know 2 years we were off because of that COVID.
Right.
But we're back here. This is our second year in a row. And we've had Mike Warren and Chris Leonard here doing that. Mike, one of your friends?
Great pedigree, yes, indeed. Now with the Hub City Times. In fact, this morning when I walked up the parade organizing staging area on 2nd Street. That used to be something I loved to do at WDLB because I wanted to have a news story about the parade as soon after it as I could. We did our live broadcast of the parade back then. And Bill Allen from WDLB, he ran the reviewing stand between 3rd and 4th Street. And Mike told me how he and Chris did that. after Bill left us.
Yeah, you did a lot, WDLB. When did you retire from that radio?
I left the radio station in 1999, went to the Marshfield News Herald. We had a change of ownership, and I was very blessed to serve with Getz Broadcasting. Jack Hackman, Nate Getz, wonderful people, and very good broadcasters. In fact, we're going to be, the Wisconsin Broadcasters Association will be inducting new members to the Hall of Fame. There are about 160 members. I was proud to say that I was inducted 2 years ago, and Bob Meyer, who hosted the WDLB morning show for a lot of years, is going to be inducted, but not because of his morning show, but because he helped bring agriculture reporting to the digital computer age. And he did a lot with that. He was an excellent farm broadcaster. Our parade's about 2 blocks from us now. You can see in the distance the lead people, the flag bearers, the fire and law enforcement. And maybe they're hearing us. I heard a beep up there.
I think they did. Yeah, it's getting closer, a little more than a block away from us right now, and you'll start hearing some sirens coming in through the cameras.
Yes.
We got a nice lineup here of different attendees that are going through the parade. So we'll get a chance to see them all. We'll talk about each one of them as they come by and get some good views.
And hopefully we can get a few to stop along the route to tell us their efforts. Because when I was up on West 2nd Street about an hour ago looking at the floats, there's some really good ones up there. And the Marshfield football players, Tiger football players, were at 2nd and Central, making sure the right banners go with the right displays and floats.
Yeah, definitely. It's a lot of work to put a parade on, and we thank Mackie. They do the parade here. This is called from the moon and back. That's what they're calling it this year?
That's the theme this year, yes.
It's right on your shirt here. So, all right. So, yeah, they're getting closer, like you say, here. We'll get a chance to see, being right here in the front.
It's moving pretty well now. Just a couple minutes ago, it was 3 blocks back, and now it's just 1 block with us here.
Well, we got our Marshfield PD leading the way on our right, their left on the camera. So
always.
Looks like a nice crowd here today. Can't ask for better weather, like we said earlier.
What a day to do something like this, Tom. And this parade has gone on for 40 plus years. Back in the first Dairy Fest, back in 1981, Les Leonard from WDLB, Marilyn Hardiker, the mayor at the time, one of Marshfield's greatest business people, Elmer Fry. None of them with us anymore, unfortunately, but they laid the groundwork for Marshfield's Dairy Fest. The idea of saluting the dairy industry that's all around us every year.
Well, that's what this is about, Dairy Fest. So, lot on going on, and today's been a busy day already. Not just the parade, they started with the fishing
And you can tell I'm a radio guy. The producer's having me look at the camera here.
Well, we're right here. They're coming through as we speak, and
I'm so glad you did this. I did this one other year. I wish I could tell you when it was, but Don Nystrom hosted this. And Don was a Common Council member for a lot of years. He was one of the first councils I covered.
Yes, Don has been doing a lot of stuff with us, and I appreciate all his help. He's done a great job. He was one of the first I had.
A very good friend.
We've got one of the posts coming through here, and they're going through post 866 of Marshfield.
That's the VFW. We saw them at the Memorial Day Parade on Monday as well.
Yeah, that's right. We had a chance to cover that. Mike Glimo, myself.
I don't cover much anymore, Tom, but I'll tell you. Hello.
Well, we got a chance to hear the cycles if they can hear us over that, but that's all right.
I want to give a shout out to Alexis Rhodes, too. She's a member of our church, our Glow Sunday School program at Faith Lutheran.
Poppy Queen.
And the Poppy Queen.
Yep. Rhodes.
She was in the Memorial Day Parade Monday as well.
That's right. And
so we gave her a proper send-off at last Sunday service.
I do remember that, Tom. I was there. There goes our DAV that just went by here.
Yes,
We got
Disabled
fire
American
trucks coming
Veterans.
in.
Very important services they provide.
I think they call this Freddy the fire truck. This little remote. It's pretty neat. They run it on a remote control, and they use it to educate students in the elementary schools.
It's very good for that because when you go to like Madison, you see those vehicles of that size. They take orders for lunches, Tom.
Oh, do they really? That would be beautiful. Well, we have engine 3 coming by here. I believe they call that a quint, if I'm right, for the church, for the engine. There it goes. Oh, water's coming out at us.
Oh yeah.
Here comes our Marshfield Fire and Rescue. They do a lot of stuff. Do paramedic, and they do serve both. Here they are.
And they have a rich tradition here of service.
Well, they're here when we need them. So 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Need something, an emergency, call 911, and they'll be coming.
And you have lifesavers coming.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Yep, definitely. Well, we see some of the floats coming by here now that are going to have some kiddos stuff. I call those floats too, but balloons, you name it.
Candy, absolutely.
Yep, that's all part of the parade, candy.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. We got a little bit of a lull in here as it comes through, but they're coming around here. We got pretty neat display of air balloons and sharks.
Don't mind me, I'm making my own memories here as well.
That's all right. Yep. Well, coming on down here, we're starting to see some more floats coming down, and got the Firm of the Year banner coming up as on our right, 2013 Firm of the Year. I'm just trying to get a look at who that is.
It's 2023.
20, yeah, I say 20.
And it's Dental Crafters, one of the newest parts in the Southeast Industrial Park, the Mill Creek Industrial Park. And they make some of those wonderful things that end up showing up in my mouth when my natural teeth have disappeared.
We're getting a nice... Well, they got more coming down the road. Just looking here, as I can see, we have the parade marshal coming down on our side right in front of us here.
Which is actually not a single person, but one of Marshfield's best-known agricultural companies, Wenzel Farm. Wenzel Farm, they make sausage, they make
That's awesome
they make those
stuff.
treat sticks that they make now. That's the biggest part of their business. They used to have the greatest hot dogs and bratwurst, and still do.
You're making me hungry. Yes, very excellent place.
And I think I mentioned the Tiger football players carrying the signs that go with the floats. I asked them if they won all the prizes themselves. Looks like they have. They're carrying them, so.
Yep.
Mark Veith, president of Wenzel Farm, doing the honors waving here.
Yep. Here we got...
Mark's been a long time Kiwanian too. And here comes the Wenzel float.
It must be, they're doing the double sides again here for the parade. So one side is another part and another part. So we got the 1949 Wenzel Farms. They've been around here a long time.
Yes. Well, I'm not sure how many people are here today, but it sure looks like hardy parade crowds of the past. And Back in the 80s and the 90s, the estimates used to be 20,000 people would see this parade in person. And of course, that number expands terrifically here on Marshfield's Broadcasting.
There he is. He might have some sausage sticks here for us. Look at that.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Once farm.
Look at that. Oh, these are awesome. Here's a spicy one, Tom, though. You got some water.
I see that. I'm going to trade a jalapeno with you.
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, I'll take
I'm not
the
going to
beef.
have one right now because, then I won't be able to
Well,
talk.
then, then the mouth gets.
Oh, yeah. Well, we got the agribusiness coming up here. There's a lot of different parts to that. And have some information about it here if I can find all that stuff.
Well, while you're looking, I'll tell you that the Chamber of Commerce and Industry has been a big supporter of Marshfield area agribusiness, and it's a lot more than just farming.
Well, I know they got on their website, I picked out New Leaf Farm, Grassland Dairy Products under there, as well as the Prince Corporation. That was listed under the Marshfield area agribusiness.
Yes.
H&S, that's a big one here too.
They make the equipment that keep the industry going.
Yeah, so you can get all the food that we need, and it's a really important part. They've been here quite some time as well.
It's very important to let people know where food is really made, and it's not just the counter at the grocery store.
No. And we're dairy state here, and Marshfield is a proud dairy partner as well.
Absolutely.
So
Now we have the second place youth float coming by us. And that is Rice Martial Arts.
all right. Well, they're just down the road here. And,
Right.
they do a lot of classes for kids, all ages. You want to get into learning different things about martial arts, I know you can get in. My daughter tried it for a little while.
Knowing how to defend yourself is a very important thing these days.
Yeah, it is, very much so. I'm trying to read the kick there, it says.
They're kicking, they're doing backflips, they're doing a lot of great stuff that I could never do. Good to see them.
Well, they changed my lineup here, so trying to find everything is going to be tough in all my papers. So,
It's alphabetical here. We have an alphabetical list.
okay. So they're going backwards on up, not this way. Well, when you first do this, you learn, right?
Big brothers, big sisters, a very, very important function. You mentioned my journalistic friends Mike Warren and Chris Leonard. They have a little sister.
Yeah, I believe Chris.
And they do wonderful things with
sister does that a lot, right? So very wonderful. Is there a place right here, or is it in central Wisconsin?
It's in central Wisconsin.
Okay.
I forget where it's headquartered, but I know people in every community are involved with it. And it's been around forever. Many, many years. And speaking of a company here for many, many years, I see Rail Transport's banner. I wonder if a truck that was supposed to be behind there went off on business.
They might have.
Because all I see is the banner.
Oh, looks like Columbus Band is coming.
It is. They were the only band in the Memorial Day parade on Monday. And they are back.
Well, if you're just joining us here, we're on Marshfield Now's channel 990. And hopefully you tune in to our live broadcast with myself and Tom Gerritsen, longtime radio broadcaster as well as journalist. So we're going to get a good chance to get a nice look of the band here shortly. So I'll let them play and see if we can hear them.
Their fight song being Anchors Away, that's the U.S. Navy's
Well, Tom Zimmerman,
inspirational theme.
he's been doing this a long time. Over 25 years at least, band instructor over at Columbus. Little hot in those uniforms, Tom?
I don't know how new they are, but they look pretty good. They look very good.
There goes my daughter. She didn't look at all, but she's playing the tambourine, Tom.
Very good. Music does build character. Get you much more in tune with what you're performing for. I know that because I sing in a church choir. I'm very proud to do so.
Well, this is an odd unit. I've not really ever seen anything like this, the tires that they have.
I'm looking at the top to see if something pops out of there. Can't tell you.
Well, this is H&S again, I believe, and these are some really large gravity, I call them a gravity box, I believe, so you can really load a lot of stuff in there.
I do a lot of walking around Marshfield to keep up my health now, and when I walk by H&S, I think of really one of the largest businesses in town that keeps our community going.
Well, I think it's a wonderful idea to have tracks like that instead of tires. Well, we have Staub Construction coming over here.
Yeah.
They do a lot of work over here in the area. Passing out candy. See if we can throw some over here. No? You didn't throw any here.
Something to soften the spiciness of the Wenzel beet sticks. Here comes the second place business float, Melody Gardens.
Great place to eat. Been there?
Yes, many, many times.
Yeah.
I love their strawberry waffle. I shouldn't say that because it makes my doctor cringe.
Well, they have homemade ice cream.
Oh, yeah.
If you like to roller skate, you can do that as well.
No.
I still do that. My kids are young enough that they want to go to this, so we're an avid customer, my family and I. So
Very nicely reflecting the theme.
I like it.
Moon and back, rolling to the blue moon.
And they're on the roller skates, so that even works even better.
Oh,
so.
yes. My son skated there. I've had grandkids skate there. I have not. And you wouldn't want me to.
No, you don't want to try it? I used to do it all the time when I was a kid. That was like a Sunday night.
I'm watching more hockey now. Just admiring the ice skaters that I couldn't do either. There's a reason I ended up in radio and journalism, Tom.
Well, you weren't in front of the camera back then. You were in front of the microphone. A little different. Myself as well, as a photojournalist, was always behind the camera. Came out in front of the camera here now.
It's all about, we all do the same thing,
Yeah,
Tom.
right.
And that's telling our community about themselves so they can make better decisions. They can learn what's out there. If there's something wrong, they can learn how to make it right.
Yep, very much so.
That's what community journalism is all about.
Yep, and we're a community television station, and we do all that here. And we have
Absolutely.
we have 3 channels now. We have our producers channel, Marshfield Now channel, and our government channel. So we're covering it all in all areas we can with volunteers like yourself. Our crew out here today is all volunteer. Very much helps a lot. Without you guys, we can't put a production on like this. So we're able to put it on live for everybody, and really appreciate you coming out, Tom, as well as our camera crew.
Well, thank you. You know, and I'm looking at the producer, and I have no idea what he wants me to do. When he has me pointing at the lens, that tells me I should look at the camera.
Yeah, I think so.
There are different ways to get the same thing done, folks.
Yeah. Yeah, we don't.
And they're all great. We
need
just
a-
got to learn them.
Yeah, well, we need that nice teleprompters that everyone has. We don't have a teleprompter today, so we got to do it without it. So a little bit different.
Well, for me, when you see me write a column in the Hub City Times, I've been on WDLB since I've been retired, too. And I just like to be grateful for what I've been able to do in this community, to have the career I had over 40-some years. And it wasn't just covering this community, and not just. We have Marshfield Clinic, and
It's a lot of work. Journalism isn't easy, and enjoy it.
and healthcare's had a lot of changes, and,
Oh, yeah.
and keeping up is so tough. But
We got
you forget how, it's easy to forget how fortunate we are to have the care that I had, and in my case, making a home for us, because my wife Jean worked 39 years there. She made sure the x-ray reports got to the right places, to the right doctors, and that's not an easy task at all.
No, not at all. And healthcare now is so important. It was back then, but now we have more people, and it's hard to get in.
Yeah, I know. We baby boomers have just...
Well,
But that too will pass.
I'm just after that, but not too far from it. So, well, if anyone's joining us live here or watching us later, we'll have this out throughout the week, and probably throughout the month. People missed the parade, so they'll be able to watch that. If you're tuning in on us live, there's a pie social that's going to go on until 3 o'clock over at Upham Mansion. So
Yes.
got to have some pie. Wenzel Family Plaza, activities going on there as well till 4 o'clock. Softball tournament over at the fairgrounds, disc golf tournament. There's a beer garden just behind us at Nuts Deep, I believe. So if you like that, you can get there as well. So if you're watching this live and you have a chance to come out in the afternoon, come on down.
Did you mention Center City Fun Day at the Wenzel Family Plaza?
It's City Fun Day. A lot of stuff over there. That plaza's got a lot of stuff going on. Last night they had a band, Missed the Rain. That was a good thing. Every Friday throughout this month of, not just the month of June, but through almost part of August, they have their concerts in the park.
Yes, Marshfield Civic Band plays at Columbia Park. They've done so
Oh, yeah.
for
Do you know what days
years
those are
and
on,
years and
Tom?
years.
What days though they play? Is that like a?
I think that's Wednesday night.
I think it is.
I'm done this year. And I do have a fading memory, which is why I don't do this every day, Tom.
But you sing. You were in a church choir.
Yes, I'm a church
So-
choir at Faith Lutheran.
Yeah,
And,
so you got a musical talent there.
I did in college.
Awesome.
I did pretty well in high school. I won a couple of Illinois state medals, and then I got to college, and like a lot of athletes do, you find out you're not as good as you were in high school. Because at college, you see the best of the best,
The best of
that
the best.
came out of your high school. And just like the pros, the pros thin out the crowd further.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Just because you start in college doesn't mean you're going to be a great pro, and vice versa. There are Heisman Trophy winners who didn't do very well in the NFL at all. That goes the other way too, and I think you're seeing more of that lately now.
Yeah,
It's better scouting. Everything's closer. You can see the players now on TV anytime you want. And we have Hub Life come through.
Yeah, that's a church that's just over
Right
down
up
the
on
road.
Central Avenue. Yep.
They were in the old area where United Way was.
Yes.
So they have a service in there.
Yes.
They're young kids passing candy out.
Thank you.
Simplicity Credit Union over here.
Oh, yes.
Hey, Tom.
How you doing?
Good.
Simplicity.
Yeah.
That replaced the old Central City Credit Union.
Okay. So they're right over on the.
They are up on Peach Avenue, right by Festival Fruits.
Okay.
Peach and Upping. And Simplicity has locations all throughout Wisconsin. Simplicity also has a financial services center right here downtown in the old Thomas House.
That's the one I was
The
thinking.
very historic Thomas House. Mike Weigel and I got to see it and go through it and learned a little history about it a number of weeks ago.
What is the Thomas House? What was originally? I'm not from Marshfield, but a lot of history in that building.
Oh, very much so. We've had restaurants, offices in there.
Wow.
Get any candy?
Thank you.
Oh, look at that.
We have string cheese to go with our Winslow Farm beef.
Oh, yummy.
There you go.
Thank you.
Here for... We'll let our producers fight over their share. First place youth floats coming up here.
You had a chance to walk down there before the parade started. Get
Oh,
a
yes.
glimpse of what was happening. Is it people wall to wall?
Oh, yes. They're setting up last-minute things on their floats. They're
So this is our first place.
First
entry
place
coming
youth.
up. Youth, okay.
And I remember seeing this green character, but the reason I don't do media every day, Tom, is that I have a shorter memory.
Well, I get the same. I have really good long-term memory, but the short-term, it's a little bit tougher. But trying to get a good glimpse of what we're looking at here.
Like the STEM program, science, agriculture, math, technology, art. Discovery is our
Is this like the Discovery Station? I know they were in here, the one that's just down the road here. They do a lot of neat things there. for
Discovery
kids.
Education
Yep,
Center.
that's what it is.
Correct.
So they have
Yes.
really some neat items and go through there. ProMedica Heartland.
Yes. They've got a fun float coming down too. You can see the barn and you can see the cows sticking out of there. And third place among organizations.
Okay.
One of the better floats too. We're seeing quite a few come along here.
You been in the parade, Tom, before? Did you used to do it? WDLB and stuff too, I bet.
I did it once with the Marshfield News Herald
Okay.
back in the late 1990s. The year we were named the Firm of the Year. And I've been with the Firm of the Year once for WDLB and once with the News Herald.
Okay.
I think that was one of the ones we had rain. Bill Heath and I sat on a tailgate.
You guys want some?
Sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Oh, we have candles.
There we go.
Thank you.
That is a neat float. A lot of work involved in that here. So, Hermetic Hospice.
Well, Bill gave all of us tiki torches, and we carried them on our truck during the parade.
Yeah, Bill was the editor back in the 90s.
He was the editor, and he was the publisher for a while.
That's right. That was Ogden, if I remember right, when that before Gannett.
And it's a lot of work, too.
Yeah.
Being a publisher represents the business side, the editor represents the news side, and you know that. You know that more than I did. I was only at the paper for 3 years, Tom.
Yeah, you were a news editor as well, right, Tom?
A managing editor, yes.
Managing editor? Okay. Were you after
The
Tom?
problem was, I was better editing than managing.
Managing, okay.
So it was a position that didn't fit me all that well.
That's all right.
After I left the News Herald, I did something much better for my sanity, and that's edit wire copy so that 75 stations, radio stations around Wisconsin, got to benefit some of them from what I've learned here about Wisconsin.
Yeah.
And I've spent more than 40 years covering the state. Tommy Thompson was one of my first teachers. He was my legislator when I worked in Portage. My first job out of college at WPDR Radio. There for 3 years. And moved here in '78. 21 at DLB, 3 at the News Herald, and then 16 for when Learfield owned Wheeler News Service.
We have Forward Bank coming down, if everyone's getting a good look at that.
A very stylish looking piggy bank, I must say.
Well, they have a pretty nice building right here in Marshfield. Beautiful place. They have several sites throughout central Wisconsin.
They are.
Forward.bank.
Used to be Marshfield Savings and Loan back in the day.
Okay.
Back when it was at 5th and Chestnut here.
Right where the new City Hall is.
Close.
Close? Okay.
Yeah.
But they were in where City Hall was.
I
for
think
a little bit.
that building that they were in is across the street actually
Okay.
from City Hall.
Well, another third place business we're seeing, Next Home. Hub City. Boy, they're bright. Can't miss these guys.
That's Orange. Orange is the new sold. That's what the radio commercials say. Speaking of commercials, Stephanie Spaeth does a great job running this crew. And I wouldn't know it because our home's been paid off for eons, but they're always fun to talk to. And Mike Warren and I were there on 2nd Street this morning and saw the parade float. They were working on their next TV commercial. They had one of their guys lying on the ground holding up a smartphone, taking videos. They were walking over the poor guy. I assume it's going to be a commercial, but I don't know.
Could be.
It could show up at the next Christmas party for all I know. So cool.
Well, they got the best ride there.
It's got to be hot to wear
I
that
was just going to
astronaut
say
helmet
that
today.
has to be a hot suit. Quite a few floats and items this year. Different ones that I've seen in the past.
We're coming back, Tom. We're coming back from the pandemic.
Yeah, it does take a few years, and you've had a chance to see these since the early 80s, you said. So it's changed a lot. It's really neat to watch some of the old parades on our channel. We actually have them for history.
Absolutely.
And you see all the businesses that have changed. It's just amazing to see the difference and changes in the cars that go through.
When you see something grow like this coming out of the pandemic, It's just a good feeling to be back where we were. We may not be there. We may not have the economy that we once did. But that too shall pass, Tom.
It does. Yep.
Always does.
Always does.
Here's the Wood County Democratic Party.
Here they come. Yep. Oh, we'll be hearing a lot from both sides coming up here this year and coming up for a presidential election next year.
Next year will be the big
That'll be the
election
big
year
one.
again.
Yep.
Presidency,
Be a busy one.
the legislature, state legislature, congressional. I believe Senator Tammy Baldwin's seat is up for election next year, so we'll be hearing a lot about that too,
Oh, yeah.
as we should.
Oh.
Here comes the first place organizational float. And all I can tell you now is that it's very colorful. But
Tried
we
to
will
get a
know
good
what
look.
it is when it gets closer.
Pretty
Such
neat
good
float.
cameras here is that you folks watching can see these floats better than we can when it gets up here. But I complain none. This is a beautiful vantage point to see this parade.
Yes, we can't go wrong with the place we have. We have a beautiful shade as
It's
well.
one of the finest parades that we've had here in central Wisconsin over the years. When you promote the dairy industry, you can't go wrong. And there's been all kinds of different themes over the years.
Trying to get a good look at what I see here through our cameras. Comes closer here. They're taking a little bit of time to pull through. We're also behind this. We have a best overall entry.
Yes, we need to
This one right here we're looking at is the first place entry, I believe. Tom's getting a picture of it. Memories. Trying to read the back of it, Tom. Good enough.
Everett Rail Marshfield Public Library.
Well, there we go.
And here comes the #1 overall float. Congratulations to Associated Bank.
Central Core Construction Company here on this as well, but it's towing the Associated Bank float. They're definitely in a rocket ship. Now, this is a pretty nice float here. This is one I would vote for here. I like the idea. I think it works great. Insurance Center, Service Center here at Marshfield.
Erie Insurance. That's the one on top of Medical Hill. Right on top of Upham Street at the Marshfield Clinic.
Pet Supplies Plus. Great place. You can get fish there. You can get just about anything.
A new business in the old Sears store.
That's right.
And one of your proud neighbors up on the north side by Marshfield Broadcasting.
I got another band. I'll let them play here. Tigers.
It is. I have not seen those uniforms, Tom. I remember the Tiger Band. I remember them decked out in orange and black. Now they just spin those around, but they sound great.
Well, I always enjoy watching them at halftime football games. I haven't been able to cover sports. We don't do a lot of it. I miss those days. One of my favorites, covering sports.
Well, the Tiger Band is a rich heritage. They've performed over the years at the presidential parade in Washington, D.C., and in a number of places around the country. Performed in some of the top parades. David Carroll's done a good job with them over the years. In case you don't know who they are, the band is at the end.
Well, it's always nice to have a band in the parade. That's our second one that we had. Columbus first and Marshfield.
And that's one of the things the early parades had, Tom, with a lot of bands. They had 5, 6 bands from Loyal and some of the smaller communities around here.
Well, Knights of Columbus coming here. Get a good view of what we have coming down,
yes,
carrying the American flag. Parade Marshal.
That's the Marshfield Parish Pole.
Yeah.
It's going to be July 14th. With
You ever go to that?
No.
Like tractor pulls? No?
I am not.
Well, that's coming up quick.
You know, I've walked by it. I've meant to go, but now that I'm retired, I'm hardly ever in town for the summer now. Boy, something that's chasing me, and something that makes me come back.
To the Moon and Beyond, they got another theme of it as well. Marshfield Parish Pole, July 14th, right at the fairgrounds on a Friday night. Well, we're live on Marshfield Now, Channel 990. I'm here with Tom Gerritsen, and we're doing the play-by-play, I call it, of the parade. Getting a good vantage point today, and beautiful day out for this parade on June 3rd, already June. Feels like there was snow not too long ago, but we don't want to talk about that today on an 80-degree sunny day.
Marshfield's June Dairy Month celebration is here. And it's all throughout Wisconsin this month.
You get a chance to go to breakfast yesterday?
I did.
They had some good food there. What did they serve?
I cannot miss a fair. You see people you haven't seen for years when you go to something like that at the fairgrounds. It's a great place for it. So many years earlier, it was at the UW Ag Research Station. That was a good spot for it too. But driving out of town is the fairgrounds turned out to be a much more convenient location, in my humble opinion.
Makes more sense there, too, I think. They're just a big building for where they can house all the people that come in.
The largest expo building they have is for that. And speaking of great dairy things, Seehafer Refrigeration is coming up here with a big red cow. I've had grandchildren work in Seehafers, so they've been around a long time, Tom.
They do not only refrigeration, they do stuff for a lot of the dairy industry, right?
Indeed it does. Not too many years ago, they hosted Wisconsin's Farm Technology Days.
That was a big deal here.
It is.
Lot of-
It is a big deal.
Yeah.
And we were very fortunate to have it 2 years. Farm Tech Days travels around the state. I think within the span of about 10 years, maybe even 5, if my fading memory serves me. Seehafer hosted it. The Hymans and Weber's Farm hosted it. Got to go to both of those. And very, very important show. It's Wisconsin's largest farm show. It's been in Clark County too, and parts of Marathon County. We are in Wisconsin's largest dairy farming area. And events like this make sure we all know it and appreciate it.
Yeah, it's an important part here of where we live.
Absolutely.
Not only milk and cheese, but
And the Farmers Health Care. Marshfield's home to the National Farm Medicine Center at Marshfield Clinic. And they've done a wonderful job tapping into the very unique challenges that farm workers face and the farm injuries they suffer. Done a wonderful job over the years. When I was at WDLB, they got Eddie Albert from Green Acres to introduce a weekly 2-minute news segment they used to do.
well, you got to meet a lot of people in the industry of radio, so helps a lot. So I found my notes here of Seehafer, founded in 1976.
Yes,
Doug Seehafer.
very familiar name. Here comes First State Bank. And they have spent a number of years at the building that's the new building that's right. I say it's new. It's about 20 years old, but it's right next to Veterans Parkway on Central Avenue.
Okay.
Founder Square. Yeah, the
ice
plug
cream.
for ice cream floats. Big day for those. The Northwood County Historical Society is
Oh,
going
look
to
what we
be
got here, can coolers.
Thank you. Uh-oh. Ah,
Thank you.
I'm going to give that one. There we go.
I don't know if that's part of it coming down here or something else, or they're trying to catch up.
That looks like a University of Wisconsin shirt that the tall lady's wearing. Whoever that is, they're doing a real service giving treats.
Trying to get an idea what's coming down here. I'm sure our cameras are on that, trying to get a look. We're trying to see. Our producer here is pointing at the camera, so we're back on. And joining us here on Marshfield Now's channel 990 on cable if you're tuning in on this warm Saturday morning. I think it's still morning, but we're getting probably closer to noon. 5 minutes, he's telling me, before noon. So I think it's been a longer parade than the last year. Last year was, I thought, only an hour. So it's good to see more people, like you said, Tom, coming back. I see V&H Automotive coming up here.
Oh, yes.
Place where you can buy vehicles,
A
get your car
homemade
fixed.
business with cars. And I remember when the car division and the truck division split, they were all down at the Five Corners when I moved here.
Well, they do Chrysler, Jeep, which is now Chrysler,
Oh, yes.
Dodge and Ram, Ford. A lot of stuff there. Located at 2414 North Central Avenue. Is that electric? It's not a Tesla because we're talking about Ford, but it,
Well, that's where their car business is. The truck business is still down on 17
oh, okay.
in Central. And the H&V&H is Floyd Hamas,
Okay.
one of Marshfield's greatest community benefactors. He provided a beautiful recreation area which is very close to the car business, the Hamas rec area. Just heavenly spot to walk in. Among other things, he made his big mark at the Wildwood Station Pavilion as well.
Okay. Mike the fun guy.
And when you go into the pavilion, you'll be able to see his story and what he's done for this community.
Well, it looks like the kids are anticipating more candy. That's why you come to the parade. Sure you can
Well,
stock
one of the
up.
top business floats is coming too. I can't see what place that is. Oh, it's first place business in the business category.
Okay. Down the road, we
And
also...
it's Bruce Orthodontics.
Okay.
Yep.
So if you need braces, that's the place to go. Kind of just shuffling through my papers here as it did get changed up here. They have a few different locations that I see. Eagle River, Rhinelander here in Marshfield, 314 West Upham.
Yes. One of the businesses that have moved closer to Marshfield Clinic. That was a bugaboo for a lot of years, and it frustrated people from like our Marshfield Area Chamber of Commerce and Industry, Greater Marshfield, why we couldn't attract affected businesses to Marshfield Clinic. The clinic was just starting to grow then. And now we're starting to see some.
Trying to think, number 29 is our, I don't really have numbers, but still taking a look at Bruce Orthodontics.
Yep, that's Bruce Orthodontic.
Is that a drill, Tom? No. I don't know. Rocket. Something. Rocket. Oh, I think of dentists, I think of drills. We got that, is it pronounced Cobuson bus?
The successor to Marshfield's Jelco bus system. It actually, Mike Warren's father, successfully ran for many, many years. I know Cobuson is a larger school bus outfit based in the Fox Valley, if I remember right.
History in 1938, Edward Cobuson called Grandpa Goldie.
Oh yes.
He's a dairy farmer and trucker by trade. And you're right, from the Fox Valley area, Kukana.
We have Nelson Jameson coming up here.
Now that is a really important business here in Marshfield. They're
And a
really
very
growing.
local business. One of the first people I met here were John Nelson and his wife. Just wonderful, wonderful people. John served the City Plan Commission for a number of years.
Now they're located just south of us here. right
They are
down
in the
road.
old Figgy headquarters on Highway 13 South now. They do have their original building they kept on to, and they do some functions out of there. Don't ask me what they are, but they're still in the East Industrial Park at 5th and Anton.
Okay. Well, they just took over that building not too long ago. So dairy and food industry, they do a lot in food, but they also have other locations throughout the country, not just here in Wisconsin.
Hello. And one of the firms of the year, too, from not too long ago.
Yeah, it was their corporate headquarters distribution here, but they have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 other sites.
Festival's giant grocery cart.
I want
Almost
to go
looks like an
shopping with
Indy
that.
car down there pulling it, Tom.
I want to fill that full of my groceries. Will they allow that? Festival foods.
It's not hard to fill something like that, Tom.
No, but if we
Lots of
could do a supermarket sweep with that, would be kind of fun. I was just trying to find some more information about it. History started with Paul Scogan. That's out of the La Crosse area.
It was. Festival is owned by the Scogans from La Crosse.
Okay.
And they came in here after Elmer Fry's business, Roller Home. Roller Home was still building mobile homes at that site when I first moved here in the 70s.
Wow. Well, they say they have over 40 locations now in Wisconsin. I know they're even in Point now. So,
Oh, yes. They're a big statewide presence. They're in Minnesota, too.
yep. You ever try their brats? They're awesome.
They're very
Oktoberfest brats. 107.9, Big Cheese
The
going
Big
by.
Cheese, yeah. And WGLX is coming, too.
Radio.
A couple of very long-time FMs in our region.
I'm trying to think now. The media group for this is this NRG?
You know, I don't know anymore. I remember when WGLX was the FM for WFHR radio,
I mean, it changes.
operated from that family in Wisconsin Rapids.
It changes so often that it's hard to keep up with everything. So,
And Jack and Chuck Gennaro, those are the names I associate with that place.
well,
I used to trade news stories with Carl Hilke and Cliff Borden from WFHR News.
do you get on the radio at all anymore, Tom? Do you get to do anything?
Hardly. Hardly. I get asked to go back and do things, and I love being asked to do things, but I'll
Do a
tell
few
you,
things.
I have my good days and my bad days
Yeah, I
now,
understand.
Tom.
Health in Motion. It's a
Physical therapy. There you go. I just hope it's not that big flame that's coming about a half a block back.
And it's on our side too.
We're going to have a little warm up here.
It could get a little hot. I think it's a
Oh, yes.
hot air balloon. You ever been in one? I think that's what that is.
Well, I hope that's not the therapy they use on you, Tom.
They might. Now we're just joining us here. I got Tom Gerritsen with me. longtime radio host, journalist, with me calling the action today that we can see.
I've loved making a family and a life here, Tom, since 1978. This is my home. I
Are you
keep
from-
breathing for as long as I am, and
Are you from the area, Tom?
no, I'm from Fox Lake, Illinois,
Okay.
which is about 50 miles northwest of Chicago.
But this has been your home for the past 40 years, 40 plus.
Jack Hackman brought me here in 1978.
Neat.
Oh, the Haig Boys.
That is a neat
That's an
car.
agricultural name for you.
Think they have air conditioning in there? No.
No.
Maybe.
Well, if they do, I'm not feeling it.
No. Remax, another one of
They're
the
going
real.
to have to be careful to keep that flame away from those power lines up there.
Yeah, that wouldn't.
I don't know about you, but I'm a fan of Survivor. And when you watch Survivor, you see the fire burning challenge. You have to make fire, and the flames have to go up to like one of the rope lines that
I thought it was right there. I thought-
those power lines look like. Yeah. And we just saw that not too long ago with this cast of Survivor.
Look, they're angling it right over to us.
Tell you though, for all the parades I've been in, I've never seen a fire breather. So we have seen something new today.
That is new.
Hot air balloon team.
Oh, I can feel it. Feel that heat.
You can go up now. Just the balloon sitting there. We were feeling the warmth. Folks.
Yes, it was warm. Now that would be nice in a winter parade. We got to have that in the winter parade. We'll be wanting that.
Maybe for the Christmas parade
Yeah,
next
that
year,
one.
huh?
Call it Christmas parade.
Yeah.
So it's got a nice Corvette. That's John Spiros, I think, over there. Got to be the Republican Party. He's leading that.
It doesn't look like John to me, but I'll tell you, John was serving us eggs at breakfast last year. Thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, had an all-American piece of cake.
Stilts, they did that.
And there's State Representative Donna Roser. She represents a lot of Marshfield.
Yeah?
And does she get around? Let's get that picture of you.
Here we go. There's our
Like
family.
a lot of people, Tom, Donna moved here with her husband, who was a doctor,
Yep.
a number of years ago. He died. She became a wonderful community servant, representing us on the Wood County Board and the legislature now. When I think of Donna, I think of somebody like Don Hasnwell used to do. When he was here, he put a premium on getting out in the community. And you always saw him. And I always like to say that local government is the one that you can reach out and touch. You don't see a lot of that with state government anymore. But,
No.
but Donna exemplifies that. And I'm not saying, that for me, it's regardless of politics. Nobody's going to agree with anything any politician does.
No, that's right of life. Well, we got the Hub City Car Show on July 29th.
Yes, indeed.
That's always fun to come to. There's pretty neat cars here that are coming through. This one's really different looking.
Well, Dairy Fest used to have one of the groups do a car show here during Dairy Fest weekend.
Yeah, if you could.
During the 90s and during the 80s, when Dairy Fest started with And I'm going to get to you in a minute on that because I've got some church people coming down here from my church.
Yeah,
Faith
and you
Lutheran.
are the
And what I
official
want to do is
photographer.
get some pictures that I can
That's
I
right.
can send to our church.
Oh, they're passing out all that cheese.
Yes, indeed. Hi. Thank you. Oh, look at this. Awesome.
There we are.
There we go. Karen Bohm.
They're passing through.
We had a lot of. I was asked to walk on this route, and I said I
Yeah,
couldn't because
you
I'm here today. Here comes Mark Kernoyer.
There we are.
Mark, the longtime agriculture teacher at Auburndale High School. And he brings the importance of food and dairy to our community. Oh my gosh, Mike, thank you. Mark,
Look at
thank
that.
you.
You got one. Good.
We got one.
Here.
There you go.
Okay, thank you.
There you go.
Oh, it's cold too.
Yeah. Oh, it is. It's fresh. Oops.
Divine Mercy, if I remember right on there, right? Francis?
Mission Heart of Jesus Farm.
Yeah. That's gonna be loud. Town of Cameron and Town of McMillan coming up.
Are we approaching the end of the parade, Tom? It sure looks like.
I believe so.
Just like the Memorial Day parade the other day. A number of fire units kind of took up the rear.
Well, they said at one time the Memorial Parade was big years ago. It changed and came over here.
1 hour and 15-minute mark for this parade. And that's the longest it's been for a while. When it totally comes back, it'll be 2 hours. And hopefully we'll get to see Kansas, the parade rebuilds itself. It's doing a wonderful job. So one of my earlier thoughts, back in the 1980s, when we had the because back then, it was up north for weekends or for summers. And this kept them here for an
Is that
extra
the
week.
tail end of it here?
It is.
McMillan?
We
Fire?
have, it looks like we have a truck with blinking lights up there.
Some, but I think that's the end. I think that's the city department cleaning up after and
Yeah, you're
gonna open
probably
the road
right.
not too
And
long.
it's not even to 2nd Street up there. So
Yeah.
it's quite a ways back.
Pretty ways back. Well, I want to thank everyone for joining us on our Marshfield Now channel, and you, Tom, coming here. I appreciate that so much for
Thank you
being
for
a host.
inviting me. Thank you for inviting me. I was glad to do this.
Yeah, I'm glad to have you on and get you on more and as we can. And my first time, I think, doing this parade, so it's a bit different, a little harder, but you learn. That's how you do this. And I think
Oh,
our
you
crew-
did wonderful.
We thank our crew out here very much. It's really important that they are here. Without those shots, we wouldn't be able to do this. It'd just be you and I, and nobody would want to watch that all the time, right?
I don't.
But we'll have
Oh,
this
come
throughout
on
the
now.
week and
I'm
throughout
going
the
to ask the
month.
producer to get a picture of Tom and I here before we get up and go.
Yeah. Well, we got our producer taking a picture of us and the camera people
Look
out
at the
here.
camera, he says.
Oh, okay. I'm always looking at my notes.
This has been a terrific parade, folks.
Yeah, I want to thank everyone for joining us that couldn't get out either, but or maybe somewhere else, not even around Marshfield. They get a chance to watch us online, not just cable. If I want to know when it's on, just give us a call anytime that you need. 207-0379, 207-0379.
And you have a website too, right?
Yeah, marshfieldbroadcasting.com. We're part of the city. We're the communications department, but Marshfield Broadcasting is a division of it. It used to be Marshfield Community Television. We're still community television. We just took it under the city wing, and we're actually located right behind us, old City Hall Tower on the 5th floor. So interested in doing video production, getting involved, bringing us programs, do that. Call us, 207-0379. Main contact, David Ballerstein. He's not on camera at this point. He's our main producer. Give him a ring, and he can get you set up. But again, it takes producers like you to learn this, to help us out, to bring this. David and I can't do it alone, so we need people to bring this to our community. But again, thanks again, and we're probably going to sign off here. Just giving us the wrap-up sign, and we'll call it a day on this 42nd Dairy Fest Parade.